Hey, good Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for joining us for your lunchtime forecast today. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we are tracking calm weather today. We told you that it was going to be calm as we started the work week, or at least the very middle of the work week. Busy with those tornadoes yesterday. We saw this quieter, calm conditions this morning. Lots of sunshine out there as well, but we do have storms in the forecast. We're expecting those storms to arrive by the end of the week. So we're talking about Thursday, Friday time zone. Timing and the impacts are still coming into focus here. We're still several days out, but what we do know is that we're going to start to get into this more active weather pattern here. So could we see another chance for storms not only on Thursday, but also on Friday and Saturday and Sunday? We'll have to see. I think that we're still pretty far out from that. Nothing is confirmed quite yet. Yesterday, we saw those showers and storms across the Gulf Coast. Now, we had those tornado warnings that we talked about while we were live yesterday at the noon forecast yesterday. We told you about that tornado that went just outside of Tallahassee, Florida. High wind across the leading line of these storms here for the most part as we headed into the later night hours on Monday. But for the most part, it was much quieter yesterday than it had been this past weekend and last week. Now, your storm reports over the past 12 hours, pretty quiet, okay? That's nice to see. A big change of pace from what we've seen over the last few weeks. Now, temperatures are warming up. We're above average across Oklahoma all the way up the plains today, but below average out to the east. We will slowly see those temperatures warm up as we head into the rest of the work week. Now, we talk about this all the time. Where are those storms? Where's the heat? Where's the moisture at? It takes a while. After we see such a strong system move through the U.S. like what we saw this past weekend, it takes a while for the atmosphere to rebound, to bring that heat back in, to bring that moisture back in. So we may see a stall before a quiet period. We'll see a quiet period before we get storms back in this area, but they are on the forecast, so we'll talk about them here in just a few minutes. Now, of course, temperatures warming back up in the upper plains today, so where do you expect those storms today? In the upper plains. Let's talk about that here. There's your low pressure system. We've got showers and storms up in the northern plains. We've got that warm front extending out ahead of that, and that's where you're going to see those storms today. Most of those will be non-severe, not expecting widespread severe weather from this. However, the potential for a strong storm, maybe isolated severe, maybe some high wind is possible here. That's really all that we have going on across the country right now. We've got maybe some light snow and then some rain out in the East Coast right now. We're pretty quiet down to the south. We could see in the far southern portion of Florida some isolated strong storms today. But really where we're watching for all of that wet weather will be anywhere from Seattle down to Portland, across Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and even North and South Dakota, expecting to get some of that wet weather today. Temperatures are in the mid-60s here in Oklahoma City, 62 in Denver, 49 in Kansas City. So a little bit cooler as you head farther out to the east, but across the central western portion of the U.S., temperatures are nice and warm today. We're also pretty dry out there. Check this out. The only places that we have that moisture return, it's not even a return, it's just still holding on to that moisture, is down in Florida. The rest of us are pretty dry. I think that we're going to see some moisture starting to move up into the Midwest as we head into the end of the work week. But for the most part, it stays pretty dry out there. So it's hard for storms to form whenever it is so dry like this. Now, these storms, as I mentioned earlier, are most likely going to be non-severe. Could we get anything severe from this? Most likely not. I think it'll be isolated severe, if anything at all. What are your biggest hazards from these storms? We're going to pop up the radar here. This is what we're expecting. Isolated storm out in Rapid City, maybe an isolated storm up in northern South Dakota. We've got northern Wyoming, southern Montana all included in this, Idaho. We could also see those showers and storms move through the northern side of the state. So what are we watching for here? Are we watching for any hail? If we see any hail at all, it'll be on the smaller side, but probably no hail here. I didn't even make a hail forecast for today. Here's your significant hail model, again, showing you that maybe small hail with some of these isolated storms, but for the most part, we're not getting anything to pop up from our significant hail model here. What about wind? Wind is going to be the biggest threat for these storms today. You could get some isolated wind gusts right around 60 miles an hour from this. So I did keep that low risk for some isolated strong wind, right around 60 mile per hour wind gusts, anywhere from Rapid City to Sheridan to Billings today. Again, very, very isolated for these storms today. Other than that, it'll be your garden variety showers and storms, a strike of lightning, maybe a rumble of thunder moving through here. All right, a new updated risk for strong storms tomorrow, anywhere from Minneapolis, once again through the Dakotas and northern Nebraska. Could see strong storms tomorrow, and then Midwest all the way down to Kentucky and Tennessee. Could also see strong storms. Again, this is not a severe risk. We are not expecting for severe weather here. Isolated strong storms, mostly non-severe. Your timing for this will start in the morning from the Midwest and continue into the afternoon and evening hours. Even seeing a little bit of snow trying to mix in here in places like Chicago. You could have a mixed winter weather event with this as well. That means that maybe you could see a little bit of snowflakes, maybe some grapple falling from this, but for the most part, it's just that garden variety rain. When is the next chance for severe weather? We've been talking about non-severe storms. What about severe weather, right? We're looking for that to be down near Tennessee into Alabama and Mississippi as we head into Thursday. So you're going to see those showers and storms start to track down to the south, and that's whenever we see them intensify into the late night hours Thursday, into the overnight hours, tracking out to the east by Friday. Now we'll show you the upper air maps here because we are starting to see a low pressure system moving into the Midwest and then intensifying some of these storms off the East Coast. Again, I don't expect these to be strong by Friday. We get a little bit of a break on Saturday, but I'm watching for an area right along the plains, right in this area, anywhere from the panhandle of Oklahoma all the way up to the western side of Nebraska and the Dakotas. This is where I'm watching for maybe an isolated storm or two as we head into the middle to end of the weekend. We'll have to see how fast this system moves through the U.S., and then we'll also have to see if we can get some moisture moving into this area. It's a very low chance for storms right now, but this is your big heads up that it's possible to get storms isolated right now and by the middle to end of the weekend there. Some models are really trying to put storms over here, but there's just not clear consistency with this area yet. What we're watching for is we're watching for these big troughs to come through. And then we're watching for these strong areas, we call these jet streaks right here. It's strong wind gusts in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Anytime that we can get the oranges, the reds, the purples on the map, that's whenever we know that we could have a decent chance for storms. Now, obviously right now, that storm risk is off the coast. What do we have here? We've got high pressure system trying to set up, not doing a great job of it. Anytime that we see the jet streaks parallel to our state lines here, so parallel to usually what we would see from like our latitude lines, we call that zonal flow, and that usually means quiet and clear weather. That's exactly what we're seeing today. Pretty quiet, pretty clear weather. We're starting to see more of those ridges and troughs move in as we head into the end of the work week, which is why we see that activity increase into the end of the work week. A low pressure system with that trough moving back through by Thursday. Friday off the East Coast, but we've got another one on its way for Saturday, Sunday, maybe Monday. It just depends on how fast this thing moves. So that's why I'm targeting this area in the middle to high plains for that next risk for storms. What day? Well, we're still about 5-6 days out. We're still quite a ways away from this, so it's just too soon to tell. What this does tell us is we are likely to enter into an active weather pattern as we head into the end of this week and early next week. Maybe not as active as what we saw last week, but still more active than what we're seeing right now. I hope that makes sense. Either way, temperatures are warming up out there. 68 in Oklahoma City, 56 in Kansas City, 70s in Denver. Beautiful day in Denver today. Colder out to the east, which is why we're seeing some of that winter weather trying to mix in up in Chicago. Warmer for everyone tomorrow. 66 in Kansas City, staying in the 70s here in Oklahoma City, and 70s and 80s farther down to the south. We start to see more of that spring-like temperatures moving in by the end of this work week and even through the weekend. 71 on Friday here in Oklahoma City. Denver almost getting up to the 80s on Friday. Now that's the short term. What about the long term here? If we take a look at our long-term models, the 13th through the 17th, we are expecting temperatures to be above average. This is right through the middle of the month. This lines up exactly with what we told you at the very beginning of April. We said first week of April, very active. Second week, much quieter. Third week, active again. So we got that warm weather moving in by the the third week of April, 14th through the 21st. And we're finally starting to see some moisture also move in by the third week of April as well. So we're starting to see just barely chances for wetter than average activity through the 13th through the 17th, drier down to the south. So we're slowly starting to see some of that moisture move in as well. Again, heat and moisture are two key ingredients for storm development. It's still too soon to tell exactly what's going to happen next week, but of course we'll be tracking it for you. We'll give you more updates every single day on your live noon forecasts here at Hail Trace. In the meantime, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, or give us a call if you're interested in a hail, wind, or tornado map. Even if something pops up out of the blue, our Mets are staffed and they'll be tracking it for you. So give us a call at 855-334-4245 or email us at info@hailtrace.com. You can even head over to our website, hailtrace.com, for more information. All right, thanks for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon. Enjoy that nice weather today. We'll be back with your forecast, same time, same place tomorrow.